Good evening to everyone out there. I just want to wish you a warm welcome, and I appreciate your presence with us tonight. I'm seeing some good smiling faces, familiar faces, new faces, so we're so glad that you're here. You've joined us. The board, the superintendent, and I, we're just excited and pleased to have you. We're here to celebrate achievement, and we're going to do that in so many different ways, and we're really excited. We have some guests with us as well. We're going to review information as a board. We're going to make some policy decisions related to the effective operation of the Polk County School Board. So with that, I would like to call the September 3rd, 2024 regular school board meeting to order. Now, so if we could ask Reverend Harris if you could come forward, please, to give our invocation this evening, and if you can all please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pass me not, O gentle Savior, hear my humble cry. While others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Eternal God, our Father, we come tonight to say thank you for your grace and for your mercy, for always hearing our prayers and refusing to pass us by. Don't pass this meeting by tonight, Lord. Come down and help. Come down and encourage. Come down and help us to celebrate all that you're doing in the Polk County school system. I'm a product of Kathleen High School in 1994. I don't know where I would be without the late, great Clint Wright and people like him who saw something in me, like all of our teachers and our administrators in this board see in the young people that we get a chance to serve every day. Lord, we are so grateful for this opportunity to serve you. We thank you for our parents, for our grandparents. We thank you for those who tutor and help. Thank you for our bus drivers who pick up our kids early in the morning and bring them back. We just give you thanks and praise tonight, Lord. And so just have your way. We thank you that red and yellow, black and white, we all precious in your sight. That means we're made in your image. And tonight we're going to create, communicate, collaborate, and think together for our children, Lord. Let the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart, let it be acceptable in your sight. You are my strength, and you are my redeemer. Have your way tonight. Be glorified in everything that we say and do. Thank you for our board. Thank you for those who are coming aboard. Thank you for those who ran. Thank you for your sovereign and providential hand. You know what's best, and we will continue to trust you. Once again, we pause and we say thank you. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. Mr. Norris, if you could come forward and lead us as well in the pledge.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
All right. Everyone can be seated, except our special guest tonight. We are really excited for our guest, and he is going to share a little bit of his bio with us. But I would love for you to, first of all, start by introducing your guests that you have with us tonight in the boardroom.
My school, my family.
Yeah, both. Yeah.
That is my loving mother, who has carried me for 13 years of my life. That is my twin sister, who has sadly also been there. Those are my two grandparents, who skateboard to my uncle. I don't know what they're here for, honestly, but they're loving. That is the news principal of Lakeland Highlands Middle School. In these few weeks, I've honestly grown to love him, and I'm sad I won't be here for all 3 years under him.
All right, very good. We're so thankful that you all are here tonight, and this young man and his accomplishments are there because of you. So thank you for being here. Just tell us something about you, some hobbies that you're interested in, anything that we should know as a board, because we're here to honor you, and we'd love to hear about some of those accomplishments.
Well, I love video games to start off. I play The Sims, Fortnite, Roblox. It goes on for days. I ran whole account dry. But off that, I play 2 instruments, the tuba and the trombone.
Yeah.
I wish I could say I was good at them, but it's a little something.
When I read your bio, I'm like, how do you go from the trombone to the You know, that those two instruments are so different.
Well, for me, I can play them both because they're both in bass clef. It's just about adapting to the different size mouthpieces for me.
All right, very good. And genre, like, what's your favorite genre of music that you like to play?
Well, I just started playing jazz recently at this New Year Lincoln Heights Middle School, and it has to be that. The songs which Miss Hanson gave us at LHMS, it's amazing. I cannot wait till our concert to play them.
That's awesome. Wow, wow. All right, very good. So, you know, if you can give some advice to Mr. Bridges tonight about what video game he should play in retirement, what would that be? What would be a good video game for him to play in retirement?
Easily The Sims 4. It's a casual game. You can stimulate life, and you don't have to really use too much of your brain power. You just enjoy it.
I love it. Brilliant, brilliant. Very well done. Oh, man. So, you know, we all had a chance to read your bio and this interest in already at this age in your life pursuing an academic degree. Tell us something about that. What does that mean?
Well, I can't go too much in depth. It's just since I was like maybe 8 or so, I just always wanted to teach.
Yeah.
My sister was tired of me. I'd always pull her on the couch, pull out an easel, and give her fake homework and teacher things we already knew from because we're in the same grade. I just really want to teach anything when I grow up, preferably at a collegiate level, maybe even high school level, but any teaching at all, I'll be fine with.
Love it. Love it. I can see that. So very good. Thank you. Do we have a contract ready? Okay. All right. Very good. So tell us something about your academic success.
Oh, I guess good. In the seventh grade, I just stood A's and B's most of the year. All I'm saying is in the last quarter I got a C in robotics. I'm not good at that at all. But I got a perfect score in the civics and the course exam. I will give myself that.
Huge. Perfect score in the EOC civics. Well done. Well done. All right. So tell us something about, I don't know, something that you like and that's like something that sticks out to you about your time at Lakeland Highlands Middle School.
The teachers easily. Not a thought in the mind. Both in 7th, 8th grade year, I had amazing teachers. Like Mr. Tabet, Miss Hanson, Miss Thomas. She's been there forever, and I couldn't tell.
Oh, well, love it. We are so thankful that you're here with us tonight, and we're here to honor you. So thank you for what you've done in the classroom and pursuing excellence, and we hope that you continue to do that. One night, maybe you'll come serenade us with your musical ability. So continue pursuing excellence, and we thank you for representing Polk County Public Schools. So if you could bring your family up, it would be awesome. And we'd love for you to come here, and we'll get a picture together.
All right.
So we can celebrate you. Yes, and your principal as well, indeed. So as everybody's coming up, I would say that Lakeland Highlands Middle School, they had the highest acceleration points out of all middle schools in Polk County. So huge accomplishment. Yes, and the gentleman behind the camera loves to play jazz music as well, so maybe we'll get y'all together. Absolutely. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. All right, board members. The first item on our agenda tonight is to accept our agenda. So Superintendent Hyde, do we have any revisions to the agenda as printed?
Mr. Chair, there we go.
There we go.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, item B number 1, new administrators attachments were added. Item J, number 1, 2025 district reorganization, item was removed. Item Q, number 1, fiscal year 23-24 annual financial audit report, attachments were added. And item R, number 3, 2024-2025 final budget and millage rates, attachments were added. That concludes any changes to the board agenda, sir.
All right, thank you, Superintendent. So at this time, the chair will entertain a motion to accept the agenda for September 3rd, 2024, with the noted revisions. Do I have a motion and a second? Second. All right, Ms. Fields made the motion, and Ms. Miller seconded it. So the motion on the floor is to accept the September 3rd, 2024 school board agenda as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? And that motion carries. The next item up is new administrators. Superintendent Hyde, would you please lead us through this fun next item?
Absolutely. Board members, member of the community and staff, thank you for being here this evening. Let me begin our recognition this evening with Mr. Brian Cook, Senior Manager for Land Services, being promoted to Acting Senior Director of EERS.
Good evening. Thank you, Superintendent Hyde, esteemed members of the board. I stand here tonight and I have just a special place in my heart. I'm a product of this school system. So having graduated from a local high school here and then spending my last 20 years in various roles throughout the district here, this means more to me than it may others. I just have a couple people I want to thank. The last couple years, my former boss, Mr. Mike Shavuzzi and Ms. Ann Pasco, took me under their wing and started teaching me the ropes of leadership to prepare me to take this step. And I want to thank them very much for all the time and effort they've put into coaching and growing me to get me ready for this. And beyond that, my wife and daughter are here tonight, and I want to thank them for all the sacrifices and support they've, all the effort they've put into supporting me to get me ready for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Come on down. We'll take some photos. Congratulations again. Next up, we have Jeffrey Barr, IT Procurement Design and Sales with Howard Technology Solutions, reappointed to Assistant Principal, 12-month at Lakeland Highland School.
Thank you. This will be my 14th year in public education, beginning as the Assistant Principal of Curriculum at Lakeland High School. In that time, I've had the opportunity to work with some very incredible faculty, staff, and of course our students. In beginning this role, I'd like to specifically thank our school board, our Superintendent Hyde, Deputy Superintendent Green, our Chief of High Schools, Ms. Collins, and of course our Director, Mr. Bruno. I'd also like to thank Mr. Alan Duget for his leadership at Lakeland High School and the opportunity to join his team. Further, I'd like to specifically say how much I've appreciated the mentorship and guidance of both Cynthia Cangelos at Mulberry Middle School and Haley Kish at Davenport High School, as their encouragement was instrumental in my development as a school administrator. Lastly, I'd like to thank the faculty and staff at Lakeland for their warm welcome over the last 2 months. It's been an incredible start to the school year. Lakeland High School has a rich set of traditions and an esteemed reputation, and it'll be my goal to add value to the school and our community in my new role at the school. Thank you.
Congratulations. We didn't get your photo. Sorry.
I'm flying solo, so it's just going to be with y'all. So.
Our next administrator is Travis Hinckley, Associate Director of Curriculum from DeSoto County Public Schools, now being appointed to Assistant Principal, 12-month at Mulberry Middle School. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, School Board, Superintendent Hyde. I just want to say thank you to you and to Principal Cangelos and Assistant Principal West for welcoming me into Mulberry Middle School. This is a unique time for me to be an assistant principal for Polk County because based on the data, the district is moving to new and exciting heights, and I'm very proud of that, to help spur that and encourage that. I also want to say, that it is a privilege to work under the instructional leaders I admired for a long time, that's Superintendent Hyde and Deputy Superintendent Green. So thank you.
Congratulations and welcome. Next, we have Paula Northern, Administrative Assistant, Lakeland High School, being promoted to Acting Assistant Principal, 12-month, at Crystal Lake Middle.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, Chairman Allen, honorable board members, and Superintendent Hyde.
Good evening.
On behalf of myself and my family, I would like to take this time to thank Mr. Hill, Mr. Wiggs, Ms. Kendrick, and many, many, many others for this opportunity of appointing me to assistant principal at Crystal Lake Middle. I am so excited to make a difference in this capacity. I look forward to serving this district well.
Thank you and congratulations. Do you have family and friends with you here this evening?
No, sir.
Okay, I heard a board member mention it. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anybody. Next is Pamela Richards, behavior interventionist from Lena Vista Elementary, being promoted to assistant principal, 12-month, at Cleveland Court Elementary. Congratulations.
Good evening. I'd like to start by thanking Mr. Hyde, Ms. Kendrick, all of the board members, Ms. Joe from Cleveland Court for appointing me in this position as assistant principal at Cleveland Court. I have a lot of family and friends supporting me tonight. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my husband, who couldn't be here tonight, and my children. I could list a million people, but they all know who they are. Thank you guys. Love you so much. I can't wait to serve the students and the staff, as well as the family and community members of Cleveland Court.
Congratulations. All right. I catch her off guard here, but next we have Tracy Porter. Ms. Porter has been recently appointed and selected to be the Senior Director for the Polk Education Foundation. And she has hit the ground running, that is for sure. So,
I have no formal speech prepared, but I just want to thank you all because I'm so ridiculously excited to work for the school board, because there's no greater place in our county that we can make a more huge impact than at the school board. And I just am looking forward to all the ways that philanthropy can help move the academic needle forward.
and in case any of you are wondering, that is every meeting with Ms. Porter, every single moment of every day. Such positivity. Next, we have Amy Shalosky, Assistant Principal 11th month at Lakeland Highlands Middle School, being promoted to Assistant Principal 12th at Lake Gibson Middle School. Next, we have Sandra Villamar, Senior Coordinator, Regional Transformation Schools, being promoted to Assistant Principal 12th at Purcell Elementary. Good evening.
Good evening. I first want to say I am truly honored to be here in front of Superintendent Mr. Hyde and the board members and all the supporters here. I want to say that with all the experience I had outside of Polk County, my inspiration really set last year when I worked in the transformation office and under Nicole Bennett, and knowing that the lessons that I learned from there and striving for excellence and not accepting anything less. I want to thank her for trusting in me, and also Dr. Richardson for supporting me and also believing in me. And I look forward to making every student do the best that they can be. Thank you.
Great job. Congratulations. Next, we have Catherine, is it Yop? Yes. Oh, fantastic. Catherine Yop, school-based reading coach, Lake Gibson Senior High School, being promoted to head of program at Lakeland High School.
Hi, good evening, Board, Superintendent Hyde. Thank you for this incredible opportunity to serve in Polk County School District. I just want to thank Dr. Cynthia Downing, saw something in me early in my teaching career. Ryan Van, Tracy Collins, Ty Bruno, and Mr. Alan Duget for the opportunity that I can humbly serve at the will of the district. I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you guys all for coming tonight. We appreciate that too.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great job. And next up, we have the Chandra Blocker, Administrative Assistant, Jewett School of the Arts, being promoted to Assistant Principal 11-month at Jewett School of the Arts. You didn't think I'd let that opportunity slide, did you?
No, I'm trying not to cry, Superintendent Hyde. To Superintendent Hyde, Deputy Superintendent Wayne Green, my Central Region Superintendent, Mr. Chris in the back, Mr. Chris Roberts, and this dynamic panel of school board members. I am honored to stand here before you today. Thank you, God. It's the girl with the thick glasses that has always been full of glasses in high school as a senior scout, cashier at Pinjo Inc. KFC, in the marching band, and 1998-1999 homecoming queen at Auburndale High School. My senior year, I became a drum major for the Imperial Sound of Auburndale, along with my sister, Kim Lunderay. Her dad was our principal. Now let's talk about building and maintaining positive relationships. Years later, after graduating college, I'm surfing the net and I see an open position to teach kindergarten at Brigham Academy. Thanks for calling Brigham Academy. Bill Lunderay, the principal here. How can I help you? Hey, Mr. Lunderay, Chandra, can I get the job? I had no experience, no teaching certification, but I definitely wanted to work for him. He gave me a chance and taught me so much about how to lead others with a huge smile. I carried the opportunity he granted me around every day as I pushed staff and students to always go the extra mile and never look back. Thank you, Mr. Bill Lunderay. And other leading Polk administrators here today, Ms. Sandra Threet, Mrs. Boland, Mrs. Downing Townsend, Mrs. May, and all of my amazing coworkers and lifelong friends with being at Brigham Academy for 18 years. To my current bosses, as I still call them that to this day, Principal Michael Sears, Mrs. Dean, the AP, he always granted me access to go the extra mile and hit the ground running as a dean of students last year. Every idea or community partnership, even your permissions to do that, he always said yes, but he always checked the budget first. I'm happy to say my first year at JSA, we earned a B. It was truly a collaborative effort. Our JSA staff rocks, ladies and gentlemen. Our teachers, our custodians, our cafeteria workers, our secretaries, guidance counselors, paras, bus drivers, county workers, you name it. Everybody goes 100% each day. As I take on this huge task, none of this would have been possible without my amazing parents, Perry and Ernest Blocker, my godparents, George and Sarita Tinsley, who are my first real bosses at KFC, my twins, Jaden and Janae, who are juniors at Auburndale High School this year, and my sisters, Jasmine and Tyria, and my other administrative mentors, Miss Ave Wright, principal, try not to cry, guys, Principal Danae Clark, Kanika Daly, my AP sister next door at Jewett Academy. Nothing is impossible for our students. As we align tasks with benchmarks, instructionally give it our all, fill in student learning gaps, and keep parents informed, and involved, I see JSA and other Polk County schools making their pathway to an A. Together, we can. Thank you all so much. Mr. Hyde, I love you dearly. You know that. Thank you, everybody.
She's another one. Great energy.
You're the professional. Is that everyone?
Congratulations. Board members, that may be a new record. We'll check the video and do a head count. Next up, we have Taylor Cameron, school-based coach, Stambaugh Middle School, being promoted to assistant principal 11 month at Stambaugh Middle.
Good evening, school board members and Superintendent Mr. Hyde. I want to start by saying thank you to you all for this incredible experience, and a huge thank you to my family and friends who have supported me along my educational career thus far. I want to start by thanking someone who is special to me and has been around since I was just an intern. I was placed with Miss James as my cooperating teacher when I was in college, and here we are tonight, both getting announced on the same exact night as new administrators for the Polk County School Board. Thank you for supporting me and helping me grow throughout my leadership experiences. I also want to thank a few of my former administrators, Ms. April Campbell, Ms. Celeste Stewart, and Mr. Drew Gainey. You all have shaped my pathway to where I am standing right now, and I couldn't be more grateful to still have you all in my life and in my corner. Last, but certainly not least, I want to say thank you to Mrs. Sharp. You are the definition of a role model to me in more ways than one, and I couldn't be more blessed that I get to begin this administrative journey under your leadership and guidance. You have shown me what a true leader looks like and how a true leader grows, encourages, motivates, and supports their people. Tonight alone speaks volumes on your leadership style, as you have 5 of us getting announced tonight, and that's the example I want to live up to. Thank you again for always believing in me, even when I doubted myself. Thank you again, everyone, for this opportunity.
Congratulations. Great job. Oh, I'm going to give it a run for the money here.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like an administrative yearbook photo.
Right? Look, they know what to do too. They follow.
Yep. Great job. Congratulations. Next up, we have Ashley Mercado, Student Success Coach at Davenport High School, being promoted to Assistant Principal, 11 month at Davenport High School. I'm getting the nod. Next, we have Kelly Harandi, behavior interventionist, Horizons Elementary, promoted to assistant principal, 11-month Horizons Elementary. Did I get your last name correct? Harand. The phonetic spelling was incorrect. I assumed it was. I'm sorry.
Okay. So I would like to thank you, the superintendent, the board, Ms. Heisemeyer, my principal, for the opportunity. I'd also like to thank my husband, my kids, and my parents for all of their support. I look forward to serving our community by promoting a positive learning environment for our students and staff. And I would like to thank you again for this opportunity to serve as an administrative leader in the county that I was born and raised in. Thank you.
Congratulations. Come on down for photos. Great job. Next, we have Crystal James, school-based coach at Lena Vista Elementary, being promoted to assistant principal, 11th month at Scott Lake Elementary.
Good evening. Good evening, Chairman Allen, honorable board members, and Superintendent Hyde, for the opportunity to serve as assistant principal at Scott Lake. I would like to take the opportunity to thank everyone who has supported me and mentored me throughout this journey. I wouldn't be here before you today if it wasn't for a former principal, Mrs. Terry Broadnax, former principal and friend who years ago saw something in me that I had not yet recognized. She encouraged me to step outside my comfort zone in the classroom and take on various leadership roles throughout the school. Along the way, I have had many amazing administrators, Mrs. Sharp, Mr. Gainey, Mrs. Strong, Mr. Kim, and Mrs. Durham, who have guided me and allowed me to work beside them over the years to help mold me into the leader I am today. This achievement would not be possible without the support of my family and friends. First, to Jeff, my husband, who has been by my side since the very beginning at UNA 24 years ago. Thank you for your love and support. To my mom and stepfather, thank you for always being by my side and always encouraging me to follow my dreams. In closing, I am excited and humbled to work alongside Mrs. Durham, Mr. Kaufman, and Ms. Nave in this new role. It is truly an honor to serve the community, families, staff, and students of Polk County Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great job. Next up, we have Avineri Jimenez, administrative assistant, Auburndale High School, being promoted to assistant principal, 11th month at Mulberry High School.
See if I can get this right. Good evening, everyone. I'm deeply honored and filled with immense gratitude as I stand before you today, having been entrusted with the role of assistant principal at Mulberry High School. I started this journey as an educator with Polk County School Board in 2015, where I was hired at a job fair in Caguas, Puerto Rico. This opportunity is one that I cherish not only because of the responsibility it carries, but also because of the incredible people I get to work with each day and the children and families I support. First and foremost, I want to thank our Honorable Superintendent, Mr. Hyde, the school board members, Regionals Tracy Collins and Ty Bruno, Mulberry High School Principal, Mr. Young, and all of my mentors, Mr. John Hill, Mr. Tyrone Wilder, that is here, Todd Bennett, and Dr. Pablo Martinez for their confidence in me. Your belief in my abilities means the world, and I'm committed to upholding the values and vision that make our school district a beacon of excellence. To my fellow educators and staff members, thank you for your support and encouragement. It is your dedication, passion, and commitment to our students that inspires me every day. To the students and their families, thank you for the trust you place in our school. I am here to listen, to support, and to ensure that every student feels valued and empowered to reach their full potential. Your success is our success, and I'm committed to working with you to achieve the very best outcomes. Finally, but not less important, I want to thank God, my family, my husband, Rafael Gonzalez, my son, Adrian Gonzalez, my friends. Thank you for your love and support. Your belief in me has been my foundation, and I'm grateful for the strength you give in me every day. As I step into this role, I do so with a heart full of gratitude and a deep sense of responsibility. I'm excited for the journey ahead and look forward to working together to make our school and the school district of Polk County a better place for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on down, family. Next, we have Penny Lundquist, school-based reading coach at Brigham Academy, being promoted to assistant principal 11 month at Citrus Ridge, a civics academy.
Good evening, Superintendent Hyde and board members. Thank you for this opportunity. This has been a challenging journey, but I have had an amazing support team keeping me focused on my goal. Thank you, Regional Assistant Superintendent Dr. Henry and my new principal, Dr. Leatherwood, for this opportunity to lead. Thank you to my former principal and mentor, Lynn Bolin. I spent 18 years watching and learning from the best. Thank you to John Hill and Ann Everett for their continued support and encouragement. Most of all, thank you to my mom, daughter, and husband for their support, countless hours spent volunteering and always being there for me. Dream big and never give up. Be persistent in your pursuit. I love my new school and my new admin team. Go Pioneers. It was worth the wait. Thank you.
Good job.
And I would like all of my family for the picture.
Absolutely.
Because my cousin Kelly was also promoted tonight. I want everybody.
We have plenty of risers. We can bring the whole crowd in if we have to. The whole choir can be here.
Miss Bryant,
Go a bit twice. You can get on the run.
thank you.
Great job. Next, we have Grisel Santos Hernandez, Administrative Assistant, Horizons Elementary, being promoted to Assistant Principal 11 month at Horizons Elementary. Aw.
I'm sorry.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to thank Mr. Hyde Dr. Henry, the board, my principal, Ms. Hasemeyer, all the wonderful role models that I have throughout my career. They have been amazing and they have shaped my career growth. And finally, my family, because they have been my support. And I'm blessed to be a servant leader because that's what I came here to do, to serve my students and my committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Rachel Young, Senior Coordinator for High Schools, being promoted to Acting Assistant Principal 12-month at Lakeland Highlands Middle School.
Good evening, Chairman Allen, honorable board members, and Superintendent Hyde. I want to take this time to thank you for the opportunity to serve our students and staff at Lakeland Highlands Middle School. It is an honor and a blessing to be a Cougar once again. It is my desire to make a true difference in Polk County schools, being as I was born and raised here. Thank you again for this opportunity.
Good move. Good move. Get bonus points for that one.
I'll take all the points I can get.
That's exactly right.
I don't think that's ever been used for me.
And our final administrator for this evening is Hillary Wright, Assistant Principal 11-month from Citrus Ridge Civics Academy, being promoted to Assistant Principal 12-month at Citrus Ridge Civics Academy.
Hey, I'm the last one. Yay. So I was just here in May when I became 11 months, and then I loved the job so much, I said, can I do it
I'll do it
12
longer.
months? And they said yes. So I'm back, so thank you. Again, my family's not here. Go Davenport Broncos, volleyball and marching band tonight. So, but I just want to say I never have one of those like Sunday blues nights. You know, when you've had a job before, Sunday night, you're like, oh, I don't want to go to work. I never have that. In fact, I'm like texting them, and they're like, lady, calm down. Like, I'm excited for every week. I'm excited for every day. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
That's awesome. Good job, Dr. Leatherwood. That concludes new administrators for this evening, Mr. Chair and members of the board.
All right, Superintendent, thank you for those introductions to our school-based leaders. Pretty amazing, a lot of energy and passion, pretty exciting times for sure. Next item up is our special recognitions. So Superintendent, would you lead us through our special recognitions at this time?
I do not have the notes for special recognition. But I do know that with us this evening is Mr. Tedder, who's here this evening to do our Kids Tag Art Check presentation. I will tell you that this is an amazing event. Nancy, come on up. Ms. Puri, our Senior Coordinator for Visual Arts, is with him. I will tell you that this is an amazing event. I get to participate each year. One of the most challenging things that I have to do each year is select a student to represent the superintendent's office choice. Thankfully, I do not do it alone. There are a lot of women in my office who tell me which one is the best, and then I vote my conscience as well. But it is a fantastic celebration. I love everything about it. There's great energy. We've got great partnerships. You know, Joe, you did an amazing job launching this initiative. It's now flourished statewide and has brought in countless dollars into our classrooms to support arts and art inclusion. And really, you're an amazing gentleman. It's my pleasure to participate each year. But one of the best parts the entire night is Mr. Tedder takes the time to go out to the parking lot and put it on the vehicle. And that, to me, says a lot about his leadership and where his heart is, and the fact he's a fellow Florida State Seminole fan. I can appreciate that in a town full of Gators. So, Mr. Tedder, Ms. Puri, thank you all so much for all that you do.
Well, so
I'm left without words. So our wonderful superintendent is one of the best things about Mr. Hyde is he's so enthusiastic about all the programs that we have, and he knows them inside and out. And so it has been my pleasure as a senior coordinator of visual arts and supervising all of the programs in the elementary programs in the county is to have worked with Mr. Tedder and his team. They're amazing professionals, amazing leader, and I've learned so much, but we're in our 19th year of Kids Tag Art, and this has brought tens of thousands of dollars, really hundreds of thousands of dollars into Polk County schools. And he spread it throughout the state, which he is going to tell you. And so, Mr. Tedder?
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Nancy. Let me just start out, as the tax collector, one of the things we do is issue driver's license, and I have to give those driving tests. And even though it looked like me, and it looks like my car, spending 15 minutes trying to figure out how to parallel park in this circle area, it was not me. And deputies, I do not ticket a car that is on the sidewalk. I had to get in here for this thing, so I apologize. Boy, that is a geometry quiz I didn't want to have to take today. But it's my pleasure being with you folks today, and you have all been part of this program since the very beginning. The school board and school board member Kay, I guess you were probably the one and only person here. Were you here 20 years ago, 18 years ago? Yeah. Yes. So, and yes, Lori, and of course Wes, who is leaving us. But your support and the superintendent's support, even back then, and the Education Foundation, those were the partners that said, "Yeah, we like this idea, and we're going to make it happen." And here we are. 19 years later, over $600,000 raised for the elementary art program in Polk County. It is spreading, continues to spread statewide, almost $2.4 million statewide, thousands and thousands of kids across the state designing their own tag to be placed on people's front car, and that money going right back to that art classroom. And so we're really proud of this program. We're proud of what it means. We truly, those involved in this, believe the arts is the foundation for creativity and innovation and hard work in students. And so we're really thrilled to be able to do this. There are a number of sponsors that make this worthwhile every single year. Our major sponsors, Southern Homes of Polk County, D-Print, Bartow Ford, Legoland Resort, Big Four Radio, Hall Communications, Lawrence Kids, Build to Pay, Mid-Florida Credit Union, Lamar Advertising, Florida Department of Education, First Lakeland Tag Agency, Polk Education Foundation, Florida Heart Research Foundation, South State Bank, Polk Arts and Culture Alliance, Polk Publix Supermarket Charities, Unlimited DPI, Polk Museum of Art, and of course the Polk County Schools and the Florida Department of Citrus. All those folks, every time I go and talk to them, they're like, sign me up again. I love it. And we've added some new sponsors coming on this year, Regal Auto Group, Tico, Strong Trout Architects, and WBF Radio here in Bartow. So the support of the community grows every single year. So I hope y'all feel as excited about this program as I do. Every year we recognize the school board member in which their district had the most sales. We took it from you, Lisa, a minute before we got the meeting started, but the good news, Lisa, is you won again. So, sorry about that.
Thanks, Joe. I picked up a lot of elementary schools.
And again, I wanted to thank Nancy Apuri and Beth for their support in the fine arts area. I have with me Ashley Mills, who works on a number of things for us, but this is a little project that I said, hey, if you can find some extra time in your week, can you help me with this as well? So they're both here to present for you your ceremonial check, and thank you again.
Thank you, sir.
SB, you can hold my check.
That's not a cheat. All right. Thank you, sir. And Mr. Chair?
All right, very good. Thank you, Superintendent. All right. Mr. Bridges, before you actually exit or get back up on stage, we would prefer that you would just stay there for a moment. This is an opportunity for us to give you a special recognition as well. And we want to give you the floor to speak as well. Thought it'd be appropriate to put you in this slot. And thinking through, you've served from 1998 to 2024. And we have this beautiful plaque that we would like to present to you. And I will read what the words say, as you value words so much as our attorney, and you've analyzed who knows how many words over your time with us. But it says this: congratulations on your well-deserved retirement. In sincere gratitude for the guidance and outstanding leadership you've provided to Polk County Schools. You have set an example to be followed, and you displayed that today, by the way, in your passion in talking about that, and cherished by those of us that were fortunate enough to have experienced it. So those are the words that we leave with you on this plaque, and may they go with you. And you have the floor this evening, Mr. Bridges.
Thank you. I wasn't going to do this. You know, I'm just going to tell you a couple stories, to everyone's great surprise. You know, when I came to this district in 1998, the deputy superintendent was a gentleman named Angus Williams. I don't know how many of you may remember Angus. He shuffled off the coil recently. Greg Bondurant let me know. But I learned a couple of life lessons from Angus Williams shortly after I got here, and I've shared them along the way. Now, Angus, in private, sometimes used colorful speech, and I'm going to do my best to do this in black and white. But I remember shortly after I got here, I went down to see him because I observed an inefficiency in the way we did business in Polk County, where the law required us to do 2 levels of hearings before an explosion. We did 3. That's expensive. It takes a long time. And I went down to talk to Angus about that, and I quoted Gosby Lopez to him. I said, we don't have to do that. And Angus looked at me and he said, Counselor, we just don't give a how you did it in Pinellas County. And since that time, I can tell you that I didn't make an impression on Polk County. Polk County made an impression on me. And I'll tell you another lesson I learned from Angus. One day, he was telling the story about a number of young men who had taken a bucket of paint and decorated a bridge in his honor. Words to the effect of Mr. Williams blanks. And the district was outraged. His people were outraged, the superintendent was outraged. And Angus, instead of expelling those young men, which he could rightly have done, he had them out there on the weekend with a bucket of turpentine cleaning the bridge off. And he looked at me and he said, Counselor, those boys respected me. They said, Mr. Williams. And he taught me that your focus is important. That even in a time when you are being insulted in the vilest possible way, find a way. And you know, the boys that cleaned that bridge that day remember that. They remember that Mr. Williams gave them another chance. And I thought that was a grand lesson.
I'm an old Boy Scout. I imagine there are several folks in here who remember the Scout Law. Anybody? Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind. There are 12 points. 4 of them are important to me. Helpful, friendly, courteous, and kind. And the greatest of these is kind. One last story to sort of bracket my career from start to finish. I started out at the state attorney's office, Jerry Hill, and my job was putting criminals in jail. One time, not too long ago, I was having lunch here in Bartow, and an older lady, older than me, that's increasingly a small population, but looked like she was down on her luck, and she came walking out to my car as I was about to drive away, and she said, "It's too hot. I'm 3 miles from my house. I don't think I can make it. Can you give me a ride?" And I'm not in the habit of admitting strangers into my car, not knowing what might be going on there. But I looked at her and I assessed the situation and satisfied myself that she was not a particular threat to me. And so I said, sure, and she hopped in. About that time, her equally disheveled husband came walking out of the building to get in the back seat. And I had a look at him too and started thinking, this may have been not a great idea. And on the way home, she looked at me. I was wearing blue jeans. It was Friday. I was wearing blue jeans and a Columbia shirt and a pair of Lucchese Western riding boots. You've all seen that. And she looked at me and said, "You're an attorney, aren't you?" And I said, "How in the world did you guess that?" In my 2007 GMC pickup truck that I bought from my father. And she said, "Because I think one time a long time ago you sent me to prison." And I thought about that. And as they got out of my car, I asked them, "When's the last time you had something to eat?" And they said, "Yesterday." So I handed them everything in my pocket. Pretty cool. It's funny how that's one story that kind of brackets my career. Started with the state attorney's office, sending her to jail, and ended up buying dinner for her and her husband, because the greatest of these is kindness.
Well done, Mr. Bridges. We thank you so much. And you will forever leave that impression of that tie in my mind, because I know you intentionally wore that tie for your last meeting. Yes, you did. So thank you. Board members, next up on our agenda is public comment for items on the agenda to be voted upon as adopted at the start of this meeting. And we do not have any comments for those items. So next, we're going to move down to our approval of the minutes. We need to approve 2 sets of minutes. The first set of minutes is from the August 13th, 2024 school board meeting, and the chair will entertain a motion to accept the August 13th, 2024 school board meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Ms. Wyatt made the motion and Mr. Sharpless seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? And that motion carries. The second set of minutes is for August 13th, 2024 work session meeting. The chair will now entertain a motion to accept the August 13th, 2024 work session meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Mr. Sharpless made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded it. I would like to call for a vote. Any discussion before we do that? All right. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Moving down to our consent agenda and looking to approve this for this evening, the chair will entertain a motion to accept the September 3rd, 2024 consent agenda as printed. Do I have a motion and a second?
Move to approve.
Second.
Ms. Miller made the motion and Mr. Sharpless seconded. Any discussion on our consent agenda this evening? We do have staff present if you have any questions or discussion. All right, seeing none, I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? And that motion carries. Moving down to our action agenda this evening. Our first item on the agenda is Q1, entitled Fiscal Year 2023-24 Annual Financial Report. Do we have a motion to approve the Fiscal Year 2023-24 ESE 348 Report of Financial Data to the Commissioner of Education, and the ESE 145, this would be the Superintendent's Annual Financial Report, to be transmitted by the deadline set by the FLDOE. And we have to do that by September 11th, 2024. So I would like to entertain a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Cunningham made the motion and Mr. Sharpless seconded. Any discussion, board members, at this time? All right, I'll call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? And that motion carries. Next, we will go into a public hearing. I now open the public hearing. The first order of business is any comments on the public hearing agenda items, and we do not have any public cards for our public hearing this evening. So we will now move to R1 within our public hearing. This is for the 2024-25 Student Progression Plan. Do we have a motion to approve the 2024-25 Student Progression Plan? And then I'll take a second on that as well. All right, Ms. Fields made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded. Any discussion on that item, fellow board members? All right, I'd like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Next is R2, policy updates. This new policy, board members, came before us during our July 23rd, 2024 rule development meeting. We are not taking any action on this one item tonight. However, per our procedural change, I would like to open the floor for you to offer any amendments or changes to that following policy. This policy number is 6326, entitled Bid Protest. Any discussion, board members, on this particular policy? All right. Very good. We'll move on, and that will come before the board for final approval during our next public hearing. So moving on to R3, this is 2024-25 final budget and millage rates. Ms. Jenkins is in the back. And if you could work your way up, it would be great. And she brought the tentative budget to us back in July, and we are now looking to adopt the final budget, and she will give us a brief glimpse and overlook on that.
Good evening. This evening, we're here to adopt our final budget. The proposed final millage rates have not changed from the tentative. The required local effort is proposed at 3.048 mils. The discretionary operating is 0.748 mils. Local capital improvement, 1.5 mils, for a total of 5.296 mils. These rates reflect in the total, an increase of the rollback rate of 2.33%. The total budget proposed for adoption is $2,441,124,804. This is an increase of $410,000, a little over the prior year. At the time of the tentative budget, something else I do want to point out, it was projected that we would end our 23-24 year with a 7.9% fund balance, and that we would end 24-25 with a budgeted ending fund balance of 5%. After completing our year-end entries and transferring eligible remaining expense to ESSER, that was for our substitute costs, the 23-24 ending fund balance has increased approximately $22 million, resulting in a 10.3% ending fund balance. The projected fund balance for 24-25 is 7.8%. So as you see, it goes down a little over 2%. That is reflective of the 4% increase we've committed to salary enhancements and also budgetary increases as you go along throughout the year. 1% of our fund balance is about $10.5 million. Therefore, our across-the-board proposal of 4% equals 2% of our fund balance. The reason I want to point that out is that even though you will see the increase in our ending fund balance in our AFR and our ACFR, our Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, that's a one-time increase so that we could utilize all of the available federal funding given to us. We won't see that again in upcoming years.
All right. Very good, Ms. Jenkins, thank you. I'm going to take these in separate motions, board members. So for the first one, we're going to basically approve the required local effort of 3.048 mils. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
All right, Ms. Cunningham made the motion, and Mr. Sharpless seconded. Any discussion on anything that was brought forward, board members? Okay, I'll call for a vote now. Those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? And that motion carries. Now moving down, I'll take a motion to approve the discretionary operating millage of .748. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved.
All right. So Ms. Cunningham made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded. Any discussion on this motion? I would now like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? And that motion carries. Now I'll take a motion to approve the local capital improvement or the capital outlay millage of 1.5. Do we have a motion and a second on this item? Second. Ms. Fields made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded. Any discussion, fellow board members? And now I'll call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? And that motion carries. Board members, I'll now take a motion to approve resolution for 2024-25-03, determining revenues and millage levied. Any motions on this one? Second. All right, Ms. Fields made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded. Any discussion, fellow board members? At this time, we'll call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? And that motion carries. All right. I'll take a motion to approve Resolution 2024-2025-04, formally adopting the 2024-25 final budget and millage rate. Do we have a motion and a second on this item?
So moved. Second.
Ms. Cunningham made the motion and Mr. Sharpless seconded. Any discussion on that final budget and millage? Okay, I will call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And that motion carries. And at this time now, I will close this public hearing. So, Ms. Jenkins, thank you so much. And the next item on the agenda is our superintendent's report. Superintendent Hyde, do you have a report for us tonight?
I do, Mr. Chair. The next work session and special board meeting will be held on September 24th, 2024. The work session will begin at 9 a.m. and this meeting will be held at the district office, 1915 South Floral Avenue in Bartow. There's a portion I intentionally left out on that item later. I have two other items. I want to point out that twice this evening we heard about the impact of the arts. We heard about it through the tag art. We also heard about it through our pledge leader this morning or this evening, and what an impact that young man had. I love the fact that he shared that the greatest impact that the one thing he loves most about his school right now is his new principal. And it really proves that relationships matter. And I hope that we can clip the part where he talked about his teachers and share that with the faculty and staff at that school, because every day we can find a reason to question our why. And that's a great reassurance and indicator of why we do what we do each day. We may not reach them all, but every single day we have the opportunity to reach another one, and we did with him. And what a huge impact. I mean, it just made me smile from start to finish, listening to someone so eloquently talk about his experiences and his passion. And I assure you, we will find a way to get him a tentative contract for being an educator in Polk County. And then lastly, I had the opportunity recently, I was asked to speak at Wes's luncheon to share a few words, and I declined at the time because two things. I wasn't prepared, but more importantly, I wanted to share it on the record. I've been doing this, I've been a superintendent now going on 11 years, and I have had the opportunity as a senior administrator, whether it be at the Department of Education, Duval County Public Schools, and other school districts, to serve in senior leadership roles and interact with some fabulous attorneys. But Mr. Bridges, my time with you over these last 3 years has been absolutely phenomenal. What I appreciate most about you is your willingness to push back, but you are truly a Southern gentleman. You will find a respectful way to push back and have a meaningful conversation with me. And I'm the first to admit I'm stubborn. And that's the Hispanic Latino in me, as I've shared, and I think I shared this during my interview. I'm Don Quixote. I will fight every windmill just because it's there. It doesn't mean it's right. It's just who I am. And I appreciate your ability and your acceptance of that, but your willingness to work with me and coach me at times. And I've deeply appreciated that and the friendship that we've built. I also appreciate the fact that you work very hard to find a slow yes instead of a fast no. For many in your role, it's easy to deflect and say, no, this is what the law says, this is what this says, this has been our policy. And what I've grown to appreciate most about you, it's flexibility, but with the right intention. You seek to solve problems, and I think some of the stories you shared earlier, especially as a former scout myself, loyalty would be one of my top ones, but kind was a great choice for you because, with all due respect, you are one of the nicest people I've ever had the opportunity to work with. Very professional, very eloquent. You're diligent, you take your time, but you're precise in your language, and I strive to do more of that myself. So I did not want to miss the opportunity publicly to say thank you. It's been a true pleasure, and I hope that you'll still answer the phone when we call. But I know there will come a time in the very near future where you will kick back and say, and you'll laugh out loud and say, I'm glad I'm not dealing with that issue. So, and good for you, because over your tenure, you've weathered a lot of storms and change in education. So from me to you, sir, thank you so much. I appreciate working with you. I appreciate calling you a friend.
Superintendent, I assure you that the admiration flows both ways. And I appreciate you calling out that last item, because the way I've always said it is my job to find a way to yes. When I am unable to get there, it is my job to find a way to package no. So yes, I really appreciate that. It has been a joy and a pleasure. And yes, I will be on the other end of that phone. Thank you.
That concludes the superintendent's report this evening, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Superintendent. And of course, that's going to be that certain amount of months, right? and then after retirement. So next, we will move to our attorney's report. Mr. Bridges, you are now recognized.
Thank you, sir. I do appreciate very much this presentation tonight. This is a treasure, and it will go with me wherever I go. It will sit on top of a black piano, another one of my treasures. I've talked too much already, but I will say this. Today I received something that I have wanted. I can now depart with joy in my heart and peace in my soul. And I would like to say thank you to Wendy Jo Winchester, my dear friend, for making my dream come true.
I think they should both be on the piano together, don't you? Bobblehead and the plaque, yeah.
Well, and ladies and gentlemen, in all seriousness, man, oh man, what a ride. And you all have been there for it. You know, every year has brought its challenges, and we've somehow managed to weather them. Mrs. Fields and Mrs. Cunningham have been on this platform about as long as I have, and we've got the scars to prove it. But you know what? We end up at the end of this day dear friends, and I think it is a very fortunate attorney that can say that about his client. To each one of you, I value you, I respect your judgment, I appreciate what you bring to the table, and I absolutely look forward to a continued friendship in all the years to come. And if ever there's anything I can do for this board, all you have to do is call. You know my number.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Next item on our agenda is the auditor's report. No official report, but just wanted to draw attention to two that you've received via email since our last meeting, which would have been the internal accounts review, the final report on that, and then secondly, the summary of payroll audits for 2023-24. Both of those were sent via email, and you have those to issue any concerns if need be. Next, we come to the part of the evening where we have our board members report. So I will start at the highest number and then work our way down tonight. So that would start with District 7, Ms. Miller.
So honored. Chair Allen, thank you. I just have a few things. First of all, I want to say congratulations again to Polk City's Teacher of the Year finalists, Ms. Chavera, and Lake Gibson's Employee of the Year finalist, Ms. Miller. If you've never seen a celebration of employees, you should visit Lake Gibson. Ryan Van knows how to celebrate his employees, and that's probably why he has a retention rate that is probably closer to 100%. He definitely has over 30% of his staff are former Lake Gibson graduates because of the environment there. So it was exciting to celebrate Ms. Miller there and to celebrate Ms. Chavera at Polk City. I also want to just recognize Sergeant Johnson at Tenorock. I arrived the day I arrived was early release, and Sergeant Johnson, in such patient ways, was helping students take down the flag outside and teach them how to fold it. And it was great to see the interaction that a lot of our staff have with students. It's not necessarily in the classroom, but it's creating those relationships in all parts of their school day. And also Sandra Hall with Auburndale Chamber. I want to thank the Auburndale Chamber for having a VIP luncheon that celebrated all the Auburndale principals, both charter and public. They were celebrated that day. Some of them could attend. And she gave a great speech with a prop that she handed out that was a back scratcher to let those principals know that the business community of Auburndale has their backs. And I think that means a lot to principals to know that not just families and students, but the community supports what they're doing every day. She recognized what they do is very difficult, not only in safety and academics, but just all of the parts of the day for the children and for their staff. And to take that on is something that most people wouldn't volunteer to do. So I was glad to help celebrate. I appreciate Representative Tomko's office being there, as well as Mayor Bogert in Auburndale. Auburndale Chamber is a great family community kind of group. And I appreciate what they do for our principals. I'm not going to say too much because I know Wes knows how much we all appreciate him. I can tell you as a parent advocate in the early days when I was that parent that sent all those emails, that Wes was always kind enough to answer the phone and explain policy and even admit when things could be going differently or going better. We've had some really tough conversations. We've had tough conversations as when I was a board member and I was, calling him to make sure what we were doing was accurate, if we could be doing something different. And when I had to push my own employees, Wes was there to make sure we were following the letter of the law. And as far as kindness, I do not know another attorney that can say what and live the kindness of Wes Bridges. He's also a phenomenal piano player. He played for me. It was unbelievable the first time I heard him. He has a piano in his office. And I was even here long ago as a community member to hear one of our superintendents sing along with him. I'm not sure Hyde ever got to do that, but Wes is a well-rounded individual, and I appreciate what you've done all these years. And the fact that you in the most stressful situations of the death of a student or a student that we have shown we could have done better with, and we've had to come to some really hard arrangements and agreements. Wes has always done it with compassion, and I think that speaks a lot of who you are, and I appreciate all you've done. And I look forward to our dinner before you set off on sailboats and traveling the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Mr. Sharpless, you're recognized.
Thank you. I want to start out by congratulating two of my colleagues here, Dr. William Allen and Sarah Beth Wyatt, on your re-elections to our school board. I want to just say it's been a pleasure working with both of you, and I look forward to at least 2 more years of working with you. Also want to congratulate Mr. Travis Keys on his election as well, and we look forward to working with you as well. I was able to, a couple of Fridays ago, attend the Avon Park at Mulberry football game with board member Nolte. We got to go and observe some high school football. I told you it's my favorite sport. But I want to just take the time to thank Principal Young, as well as Mrs. Crosby, and the new AP I was just recognized tonight, Ms. Jimenez, on just welcoming us to that school. I really felt welcomed, and I felt, that they were just very kind. Mr. Bridges used that word, very kind, and just very welcoming. So I appreciate that. As well as Mr. Rawson here from the district. We talked about a lot of things. He is one of the most enthusiastic people I know, and just passion. I really enjoyed meeting him. And I'm just going to end, make this short, but I'm going to end with also thanking Wes. I didn't know you were close to the late Angus Williams. Me and his son, Robert Angus Williams, are really good friends. And so I look forward to potentially future phone calls about that. But what I really look forward to the most is our future phone calls about eating locations in Black Mountain, North Carolina, Swannanoa, North Carolina, Asheville, and just the
What I look forward to is joining you in Black Mountain.
Yes.
And Asheville and eating.
Yeah, let's do it. It's, every summer my wife and in-laws and my family, we all go up to North Carolina, and we share a love for that same area. So I look forward to meeting you. That would be great. Maybe go to Our Father's Pizza. Yeah, My Father's Pizza. Yeah, that was my favorite place. But I'm an Eagle Scout myself, and so one thing, I know you talked about the Scout law, but to me, there's a part in the Scout oath that you exemplify, and I'm going to read it real quick. I'm just going to read the whole Scout oath, and then I'll say it. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. And I can tell you, our conversations, the morally straight part, me and you, we can have disagreements, but I know that your compass is fixed on the right thing. And so I appreciate it. I appreciate the service you've given to our district. And in the short time we've been colleagues, I can tell you that that morally straight part is certainly one that I've appreciated. So thank you for giving me that guidance. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Sharpless. And Ms. Fields, you're recognized.
Thank you. So Wes, we've known each other for 22 years. It's been a long, long time. And there are many things that I could say about you, but many have already said it. But I remember when we were dealing with a group of folks who didn't want us to pray at our school board meetings, and how you led us and directed us and made sure that we were following the law and in order, and we were able to maintain prayer within our meetings. I remember when we were getting ready to go through the process of electing our first superintendent of schools, and how you were there again, directing and guiding us and making sure that everything that we needed to do was in order. And because of that, we were able to hire the late Dr. Gail McKenzie, who was a tremendous blessing for the school district. I would say there were many controversial items that sometimes we wanted to throw up our hands and just scream, but you were the calm part of us understanding that everything would be okay. We just needed to trust the process. You've been very knowledgeable. You are probably the most knowledgeable attorney that I know. You are definitely honest. I mean, truly honest. You are a man of great integrity. Your mom and your dad have done a great job with you. You love your family, and your family loves you. And as Superintendent Hyde said a few minutes ago, you are definitely a Southern gentleman, and you're going to make us wait so that you can open the door and do all those things that sometimes we just want to do on our own. So on behalf of myself and on behalf of my husband, Gal, we want to wish you the very best, and we know that God is going to continue to bless you and Carolyn and your family and your grandbabies and your parents, and enjoy life. Continue to enjoy what God has for you, because you're not done yet, okay? You're just closing this book, but there's another book that's going to open for you. So we wish you well and a long, long, long life, and we love you, Wes.
I think it was quite an accomplishment to have known someone for 22 years and still be friends at the end of it.
Amen.
And not the end, but
Right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
yes, ma'am, it has been remarkable. Thank you.
And that's it.
All right, thank you, Ms. Fields. Ms. Wyatt, you're recognized.
Thank you. I will say I think I'm most looking forward to the superintendent sing-along that's going to be happening after this, so if anybody else wants to hang out. But in all seriousness, Wes, thank you for your leadership over the past several years. There has not been a time that I've called that you have not either answered or called me right back. And the fact that I can ask a question and typically your response is, I don't know the answer to that, but let me see what I can find. And within a matter of hours, you have answers from all over the state, and oftentimes outside of the state, is a true testament to the relationships you've built, not just in this district, but with your colleagues across the board, that they have the respect for you and the admiration that they're going to respond and get you answers quickly, which is always helpful to us. And I'm gracious to be able to bear the fruits of that. You'll be missed, but I am so excited for you to just get to be grandpa, because I know that you have something special waiting for you in North Carolina that's has more than we could ever offer you here. So thank you for your time, and I can't wait to see more grandbaby pictures and see pictures of all of your adventures in retirement. And then just from my board member report side, I just want to give a shout out to Susie Nelson at Chain of Lakes Elementary. I had an opportunity to visit with her this morning and get to see some kiddos, because that's really one of the best things that we get to do, I think, is hang out with students and see what they're learning and what they're doing. But she has done an incredible job with her after-school program. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the roster of options that are provided to those students, but there are easily 10 to 15 clubs that go on throughout the year. And for an elementary school to have that type of not only dedication from the leadership to say, hey, we're going to offer this to our kids, but also to have built a culture from her teachers that they're engaged in wanting to offer those opportunities to her student. Even just talking to one of our art teachers today, how excited they are for the play that they're doing next semester. And she's like, I think we're going to have to just make this drama club because we've got way too much to do to get ready for the show. So it's exciting to see all of the opportunities that they're going above and beyond to offer students after hours. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Wyatt. And Mr. Nolte, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Wow, what a great, great board meeting tonight. The atmosphere, the new principals and the new administrators. It's just a great start. You can feel the love they have for what they're doing, and it's been an honor to sit here for almost 2 years now with Wes. We met years ago in my golf shop when he purchased some golf clubs for your son, I believe. In fact, he reminded me the other day when he said, "Hey, wasn't that you with the Dodge Magnum?" I go, "Yeah, that was it." But I mean, it's been an honor. You are truly a Southern gentleman. Everything that's been set up here is definitely true. You will be missed, and those shoes are going to be very, very hard to fill. If we can get somebody to maybe have 2/3, it'll be worthwhile. Your dedication to this county is just unmeasurable. The way you can get along with everybody, and like you said, if you do disagree with someone, you do it in such a polite way that you leave as a friend, and that's the way it should be. I attended several football games this year, and the support from the community, the fans, the students, the faculty, the staff, it's just been outstanding. And when I do talk to the principals and staff and faculty, everybody is so excited about this year. We improved last year. I know this year is going to be even better. And I can't forget to congratulate Sarah Beth and Dr. William Allen on their big wins that just came up a few weeks ago, and we're definitely I'm gonna definitely miss my sidekick here, Mrs. Cunningham. She's a wonderful lady, as everyone up here is, lady and gentleman, and I look forward to meeting with and working with Travis Keys. And again, the excitement about the new school year, the sadness of Wes moving up to the world of travel and North Carolina, and I definitely remember now, Wes, my son lives up in Blowing Rock, so when I'm up there, breakfast and lunch and dinner's on me. So we'll definitely get together, and this has been exciting. I love the energy tonight, and I know we can keep it going. Superintendent Hyde, you're doing a great job. Picked some great people, and sky's the limit. So thank you so much, everyone. Wes, a new chapter. I look forward to seeing it and being part of it, and God bless you, and thank you, people. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nolte. And Ms. Cunningham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I first want to do a shout out to Superintendent. We had quite a few emails this week regarding VPK lunches and the direction that the district took. I know I responded to most of them, and we had some heart-to-heart discussions, and I appreciate your calls, and I appreciate the decision that you made after that, taking into consideration those kids. And, you know, as I told you, if it had been my daughter, she would have been hungry because she wouldn't have eaten the lunches that were being served. Not because of any reason, because at that age, they're pretty picky. So it just really touched my heart, you know, that you listened, and I'm sure you had conversations with other board members as well, but I particularly thought that was just awesome. So thank you for what I consider doing the right thing when it was difficult to do that, because I understand the constraints that are placed upon you. So I just wanted to say that publicly. Wes, oh my goodness, I am so very happy for you. So jealous, but very excited that I will be joining you soon. Yes, I have been on this board 20 of your 26 years. We have worked together. And as I wrote in my card, you are retired, but admired, right? Retired, but admired. So when you open your gift, which I hope you do at some point in time, it is simply a little bit of a taste of things to come when you and Carolyn hopefully someday come and visit us, Rick and I and Christina, in Croatia. I know you've been there and you love it. You just haven't been to our town, and I'm hoping we can have some fun. You're going to have fun with them in North Carolina. I hope you'll come see me and our family in Croatia. We're looking forward to that. So I just want to wish you the very best in your next wonderful, traveling, sensational season of life. Cheers and best wishes to you, Carolyn, Trey, Alec, Alexis, and the most beautiful princess in the world, Miss Ruby May. God bless you, Wes, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you, ma'am.
And that concludes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cunningham.
If I may.
Yes, Superintendent.
It would be wrong of me not to acknowledge staff. Ms. Cunningham, thank you so much for the kind words. I did send the memo from my office after multiple conversations, but I would be remiss if I did not give Ms. Allen considerable credit. She did all the thoughtfulness, put forth all the research while it was her initial proposal, and I support it fully. I continue to support it because we have to put our students' safety first. I appreciated first and foremost that she was responsive to the concerns that were being expressed by members of our community, staff, and others. And so when she came to me and said that she was willing to or wanted to provide more flexibility and look for other opportunities, I supported her as well. So thank you for the acknowledgement, but I would be remiss if I did not give her more credit for that decision because I'm here to support my team. We make the best informed decisions we can. And I give her a lot of credit because it's not easy to retreat from a position like that. And she deserves all the credit there. So thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Yeah. Thank you, Superintendent. I've just got a couple items to bring forward in my report as well. I just want to say congrats to our group of finalists within District 1 for the Teacher of the Year and the School-Related Employee of the Year. Had a chance to be on campus at Oscar J. Pope, and Mr. Shell was just thoroughly surprised and honored. He really thought he was coming back to Oscar J., who, well, currently now he's at Jesse Keene with Miss Perry, who led Oscar J. last year, one of our two schools from a C to an A, one of two within the whole district. So he thought he was coming back to Oscar J. in that moment to celebrate those students, and we did celebrate those students in a big way. Superintendent Hyde was there and several other members of the staff, which was pretty incredible. But the fact that we honored him as well, which was really amazing. And Mr. Shell's a pretty incredible leader. I've got two nicknames for him. I call him Superman, but I also call him Rain Man because this guy is brilliant. I mean, he is just he was the math interventionist and now has moved to a different role at Jesse Keene. But that was incredible. And then Miss Naito, who is a paraeducator at Crystal Lake Elementary, and she leads their media program with the students there at Crystal Lake Elementary. I had a chance to honor her as well. So just congrats to those two school leaders and doing amazing things in their students' lives. Secondly, I wanted to draw attention to this. So I was out and about in Lakeland the other night and was at Mojo's with my wife, and we saw several people had this in their hand and they were reading it over dinner. But I was just admiring that low-angle shot that just really empowers our superintendent. But the Lakelander did a great job and had multiple pieces, well-written and well-covered, talking about the successes of the school district and the leadership of our superintendent. And for that, I'm very, very extremely thankful. And then lastly, would like to just say a couple words to Mr. Bridges, and I'll keep them very minimal, but just congrats on a well-deserved retirement. You know, we talked a lot about art tonight. We had kids tag art, and our guest this evening as a musician and an artist, but I think you're an artist as well. And for me, spending 20 years in the visual arts, I thoroughly enjoyed just engaging with you at that level. And you're our attorney. You read all this dry language all the time and interpret it for us. But you speak so well outside of that realm, and you are artist in of itself. And I was thinking, you know, what kind of story would resonate with me as it relates to who you are and the end of your journey here. And I know that you've just traveled to Budapest, one of my favorite cities to visit in Europe. And, you know, since everybody's buddying up with you sometime in the future. Maybe we'll have the opportunity. You could be my chaperone as I lead my students across Europe on their junior journey trip. Maybe you'd be my chaperone one day. But in the city of Budapest is the largest parliament building in Europe. And if you don't know the story, and I'm sure Mr. Bridges knows the story, this is probably one of the most beautiful artistic buildings in Europe, and it sits in Budapest right on the Danube. And the architect who designed it went blind before that building was finished and was never able to see his finished work. And it is a stunning, beautiful building. And I was thinking, well, Mr. Bridges, you get to leave and actually see all the good work that you've done and get to finish strong and actually get to see the finished work that you took part in, which is pretty honoring. And I think you've finished strong. And that's one of our goals, I think, in life is to finish strong. And you did that well. So I appreciate your time and your service. You were well honored. So I hope you feel honored in this finish. So thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. At this point, I'd like to transition to our last item on the agenda, and I really appreciate the patience of our members in the audience. We do have 2 cards this evening. So basically, you have 3 minutes to speak, and when the light turns yellow, you'll have 1 minute left, and you'll hear a beep when your time is concluded. Please note that although the board encourages community participation, no media action will be taken on the items presented during this public comment portion of the meeting. So if a follow-up board action is required, then the matter may be placed on the agenda at a subsequent meeting in accordance with school board policy. So I have a list of 2 individuals who have signed up to speak tonight. So if you can please come forward when I call your name, just state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to speak. So first of all, we have Jenna Smith, if you're still here with us tonight. All right. Thanks for being patient with us tonight. So if you could come forward. And then on deck, we have Jason Geary. So if you could come forward and stand behind the red line as well.
Is it on? I don't know. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Jenna Smith, you need my address, 7220 Twin Cedar Lane. Okay. So I'm going to add Miss Allen to this too. So Superintendent Hyde, school board members, Miss Allen. My name is Jenna Smith. I am also, along with a million other people that were here tonight, a former Polk County student. I am a current 4th grade teacher at Winston Academy and a proud parent of a 1st grader and a pre-K student. I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of you and express my heartfelt gratitude for your decision on Friday, as Ms. Cunningham said, to allow students to bring their lunches again and their water bottles. Superintendent Hyde, I especially want to thank you. I understand the weight of this decision, along with Ms. Allen and the school board members and the tough conversations that surrounded it. I'm pretty sure I added some extra emails to your already full emails, so I apologize. But your responsiveness, even with your busy schedule, has not gone unnoticed. Your willingness to hear about our children and our concerns, particularly our picky eaters like mine, allergy-prone and neurodivergent children, means the world to us parents. So thank you for your unwavering commitment to putting Polk County students first, and your thoughtful leadership is truly appreciated, and I'm proud to be a part of our community. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ms. Smith. All right. Next up is Jason Geary.
Good evening. Board Chair Dr. William Mallon, honorable school board members, and Superintendent Hyde. Thank you for this opportunity to share a few thoughts regarding the approaching retirement of Wes Bridges. After announcing his plans to retire, I'm embarrassed to say that I avoided Mr. Bridges for a week. Quite honestly, I simply didn't want to acknowledge his time with us was coming to a close. I childishly hoped if I didn't acknowledge his retirement plans that it would go away. He will be greatly missed. Those who know Mr. Bridges can attest to his sly, often dry sense of humor. He can dispense homespun witticisms and sharp observations with ease. A single conversation can quickly cover a lot of ground. He may jump from quoting the Bible and Shakespeare to Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. After a chat with Mr. Bridges, you often find yourself looking up terms like the Sword of Damocles or Occam's Razor. You may even find yourself adding these to your conversational repertoire. You might be surprised to know that Mr. Bridges is also a comic book fan. His favorite superhero is Batman. However, I was not surprised by this revelation. Like the Cape Crusader, Mr. Bridges is also a man of great integrity who is always seeking to help others. For 26 years, he's been the school board's general counsel. During that time, his sage legal advice and wise common sense have been invaluable to his colleagues. No matter what legal conundrum was surfacing, Mr. Bridges' calm demeanor could be counted upon. He has always done his very best as a public servant. I began working at Polk County Public Schools 10 years ago, and it has been more than my pleasure to work alongside Mr. Bridges. It has been my distinct honor. I will miss hearing piano music floating in the hallways from his office. It will be sad to no longer hear him tickle the ivories to clear his mind, seeking a eureka moment to a vexing legal dilemma. But more importantly, I will miss working alongside my dear friend Wes. But he deserves to enjoy retirement. He deserves more opportunities to travel with his beloved Carolyn and spend quality time with his granddaughter, family, and friends. No doubt the greatest adventure is what lies ahead. Thank you.
All
So that's a rarity. We don't think it can come down and hug us, do we?
All right, board members. Next order of business for us is adjournment. There being no further business, this meeting of the Polk County Public Schools is now adjourned.